I'd like to say good afternoon to everyone, and I would like to welcome you to the OBDC's Office of Business Diversity and Compliance first I'm Certified What's Next workshop. Let me start by saying thank you to each of you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us on what I consider to be an important workshop for our local and surrounding counties small business owners who are interested in doing business with the City of Memphis. Today, we will go over for those some important information for those business owners who are currently in the process of completing their application. We will also share information to assist our certified vendors as well. My name is Stanley Brady. I am the certification manager for the Office of Business Diversity's EBO program and the SBE program. For the business owners who are in the process of completing your applications, please note that there are several requirements set up by the City Council that you must satisfactorily show. And you will find all of those requirements on our applications, our online application. You'll also find it on the city's website. An important announcement I'd like to leave with everyone is I'm respectfully asking that all attendees, when you come in, take a moment to put your electronic device on mute during the entire presentation. Please note that we have set up the time to allow you an opportunity to ask questions at the end of the presentation of our workshop. So please take as many notes as you wish and be prepared to ask your questions to our presenters at that time. You are also welcome to place any questions you may have in our question chat box during the meeting, and we will respond accordingly. I want to start off by introducing you to our certification unit. I'm Stanley Brady, certification manager for the City of Memphis. On our compliance unit, I'll ask her to come on. That is Ms. Marcina Agetabi, our contract compliance analyst. We have Ms. Tabitha Veazey, if you could wave your hand. She's our certification analyst. And we have City of Memphis purchasing. We have Ms. Bryn Wiswall. She's the contract analyst, if she can give us a wave. And then we have Ms. Siobhan Carruthers, who is a senior procurement specialist. Siobhan, if you could give us a wave. And then we have the OBDC Business Service Unit representative, and that's Mr. Taylor Tagg, Senior Business Services. Taylor, if you can give them a wave. That's our team. So welcome to the I'm Certified What's Next virtual workshop. This is our first opportunity to greet you during this pandemic, so we're very happy. In behalf of the director, I will say congratulations to those who are now certified as our MWSBE with the City of Memphis. And she would want me to share that this is a very important designation by the City of Memphis to our local and surrounding county business owners. We've made it a priority to be proactive in eliminating any unlawful discrimination and barriers to do business with the City of Memphis. And with her leadership, we work very hard to ensure legal compliance of City of Memphis contracts as it pertains to the EBO and SBE ordinances. And her motto and her mantra is, we mean business and we are intentional about doing business with you as our business owners. So here in the City of Memphis, we're located in two locations. We are at City Hall, and we also are located here at the City of Memphis Entrepreneurs Network Center, also known as Universal Life Building at Danny Thomas and Martin Luther King. And inside the building and networking with us are our partners. We have the BBA, Black Business Association. We have the MEMCA, Memphis Area Minority Contractors Association. We also have Tennessee Small Business Development Center. And we also have in our office Operation Hope. So anytime that you need to make contact with them, you're welcome to call our number, which is 901-636-9300. And we would be more than happy to direct you to any of our partners here in the building. The mission of what we're doing here, the Office of Contract Compliance, is to ensure the legislative intent of the city ordinance number 5384 and 5366, which was created for us for those two programs, the EBO and the SBE programs. And they're carried out in all procurement activities and opportunities by the city. The EBO program. The EBO program assures that the businesses are 51% owned, operated, managed, and controlled by a woman or minority. Our SBE program was established with the goal of awarding at least 25% of city contracting and purchase order dollars to our small businesses that are certified. And here you'll see that with our certification, we have our three categories, which is the MBE, Minority Business Enterprise. Our WBE is the Woman-Owned Business Enterprise, set up mainly for our Caucasian females. And our Small Business Enterprise, our SBE. And then we have our Contract Compliance. They also deal with the contracting requirements and our bidding specifics. And I think Marcina Akadabi, one of my teammates, she will speak to that further on into our workshop. One of the things I wanted to say, and I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Tabitha, our City of Memphis certification application is now online. And you can take it away now, Tabitha, to talk to our business owners.
Good morning. My name is Tabitha Veazey, Certification Analyst with the City of Memphis. And like Mr. Brady was stating, our application is now online. This is for our new vendors that are applying for the first time, and also for vendors that are currently certified. You are now able to renew your certifications through our online certification portal. How to access the online application. To access the online application, you will go to www.memphis.mwsbe.com. And what I will do, I will pull up the home screen to show you exactly how to access the website. So as you see, this is the website, memphis.mwsbe.com. Once you get to this home screen, you will scroll down and click Apply for Renew Certification. And from here, you will scroll down. And if you are applying for the new application, you will click Option 1. If you are renewing a current certification, you will click Option 2. And if you happen to forget your username or password, you will click on Option 3. Also know that for new applicants, you will have to create an account as soon as you click Option 1. And also be aware that if you do have any questions or concerns, you are able to contact us. We are able to assist you while you're applying for the application online. Also know that we are unable to view your application until you submit the application online. Be sure to fully complete the application and submit all required documents. So now we'll go back to the PowerPoint. So certification facts. So certification is a qualifying process. It ensures that only legitimate minority and women-owned businesses are certified. Certification is necessary to ensure that minority and women-owned firms are not being discriminated against. We encourage minority and women-owned businesses owners to get certified with the City of Memphis so they can take advantage of procurement and any upcoming projects and opportunities that the City of Memphis has to offer. So next up, I'll bring up my colleague, Marcina Gedeby, and she will speak on contract compliance.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Marcina Gedeby, and I am the Contract Compliance Analyst with the Contract Compliance team of OBDC. We're a small team. It's myself, Rashonda Buchanan, and Andrew DeShazo, who lead the Contract Compliance team. And I just wanted to make sure that y'all understand what our office does as far as making sure that MWSBEs have equal access to contracting opportunities with the city. First of all, I want to just let you all know what we do. Our office ensures fair and accurate reporting for city contracts. So any contract that is awarded, we make sure that it's meeting all the standards that are required to be in adherence for that contract, whether it's MW
and I'm just calling you back.
Or SBE designation for that particular contract. Also, we do audits for primes and subcontractors to make sure everyone on the contract is being paid in a timely manner and to make sure that we are keeping in contact with the primes and subcontractors on those contracts. We also source and identify MWBEs for contracts. So we want to make sure that if we know who you are, then you have the opportunity to bid on a contract. And I'll talk more about that later. We set participation goals. We have said before that we want MWBEs to participate on contracts. And how we do that is set goals for those contracts to make sure that a percentage of the contract goes to a registered and certified MWBE with our office. So just a moment here. I'm going to share my screen. Tabitha, can you allow me to share my screen quickly, please? Okay. Okay. Just a moment. So can everyone see that okay? So again, so why do you need to bid on city contracts? Just to let you all know, I know there's a lot of information about city contracting out there and any type of discrimination or even reverse discrimination. We want to make sure that everyone knows that our program is not a set aside. It's not designated for MWBEs receive a set aside or anything like that. We are in federal compliance, making sure that no one is discriminated against, whether you're MWBE or not. But we are here to address the systemic discrimination in city contracting. Over the years, it was brought to our attention by the disparity study that we had a couple years ago that there was systemic discrimination in city contracting, meaning that MWBEs, minority and women-owned businesses, were systemically disenfranchised from bidding on city contracts. So our office is here to make sure that everyone has an equal opportunity to bid on a city contract. So I'm going to talk about the two types of contracts that we deal with. And I say two types, but it's really just to break it down to let you know what your certification does for you. So if you're certified and registered with the City of Memphis, you can be registered as an SBE, meaning a small business, meaning that you have you are headquartered in the City of Memphis limits. So not necessarily in Shelby County, meaning if you're in Cordova or Bartlett or Arlington, you may not qualify for the SBE program. SBE, again, means that your business is headquartered within the city limits. And then there's the MWBE certification. Minorities and women both qualify for this certification. Minority being anyone who is of an ethnic minority, Black, Hispanic, Eastern Indian, or Eastern Asian, I'm sorry, and many other disenfranchised minority classifications. The WBE is for Caucasian women, because studies have found that Caucasian women are also typically disenfranchised from participating on city contracts. So MWBE contracts will always be grouped together. There will be no contract where only a minority can bid on or only a woman can bid on. If it's MWBE contract, then that contract has a percentage goal for equal participation for M's and W's, okay? So with the SBE program, if there's a contract that our office reviews that we know that we can identify at least 3 SBEs to participate on that contract, we designate that contract as SBE only. So that goes for a lot of the areas that are, I guess, typically designated for small businesses. Goods and supplies is usually that area. So goods as far as purchasing things for the City of Memphis, whether it's equipment, some type of tools or anything like that, or performing a service such as janitorial, grass cutting, and many others. I know those are the ones we mention most often, but SBE can be any size bid. So it's not just under $10,000 or under $100,000. Any SBE that is registered with our office, if you feel you can provide that good or service, then you are welcome to bid on that. As far as SBE, like I said, we have to identify at least 3 businesses that can provide that good or service. So if we cannot find at least 3 janitorial companies, and when I say find, I mean that they're not registered with our office with an active certification, then you will not be counted towards the 3 minimum. And if we don't have 3 minimum, it cannot be an SBE only bid. So when you do bid, you have to be invited. And purchasing, we'll talk more about that as well. SBE only bids are by invitation only. So you will get a bid invite from purchasing to bid, and so that's how that works. A MWBE gold bid, that means that a contract goes out. The typical example that we use is construction. City of Memphis does a lot of construction, a lot of building, a lot of architectural type bids. So we know that we have quite a few construction companies, quite a few architecture companies that can bid on projects. And it's possible that even though they're a large minority or large women-owned company, that doesn't necessarily mean that they can be a prime on the contract, meaning have the whole contract and perform the entire contract by themselves, because we want to make sure that MWBEs participate, but even though they may not be large enough to take on the whole contract, we set what's called a goal on that contract. And the goal says that a certain percentage of the contract must go to MWBEs. And when I spoke earlier about set-asides, even though there's a goal on that contract for minimum participation of MWBEs, it does not mean that that contract is set aside for those MWBEs. It means that that contract must be participated on by an MWBE. And we come up with that participation goal from a mathematical formula that we use in our office. The formula takes the number of active and certified MWBEs within that category, and we use a formula to make the goal. So the goal is not an arbitrary goal. A goal is not the same for every project. The goals vary depending on how many we have in that area. So the goals that we typically assign are for construction projects or some type of architecture engineering projects. Goals can be from 1% to 50%. So the goal is the minimum on that project. It does not mean that only 50% of the project must go to MWBE. It means that 50% of the project, at least 50% of the project must go to MWBE. Register with our office. So that's the science behind that. But goal setting is very important. Goal setting is reviewed in our office every Friday. We review, I say about 99% of the contracts that the city bids out in our office, and we set goals, or we see if the project can be set as SBE. So let's move on. If I can move on. Okay, so where do I view city contracts? The City of Memphis wants to make sure that you are able to see what's out there, see what the city purchases, and know what opportunities are out there. So every Friday, I try to send out the B2G Now mailing list with upcoming bids. If you're on our certified registry, then you receive these pretty much every Friday. Friday, sometimes Monday. And I send them out every week to make sure that you all know what the city is purchasing in the next couple of weeks. That information is there. If you have questions, you can contact purchasing. Some of them will be listed as SBE only, and some of them will be listed as construction or professional services or whatever it is. Whatever the city is purchasing that week goes out to you guys directly. If you do not check your emails as often, you can just go to the city website, morememphis.org/contracts. That's where you see online listing of what the city is purchasing and what the city has purchased. That matters because if you see what the city has purchased in the past, guess what? They're probably going to purchase it again. We need some of the same things over and over again, yearly, monthly, quarterly, whatever it is. And then when you see that information, the whole contract document is there. Who bid on the contract, who won the contract, who didn't win, the winning bid, the amount that they bid and how much it was, all that contract information is there. But I will warn you, sometimes those contract documentation that is made public can be hundreds of pages long. But if it's something that you really want to bid on and you want to do your bid research, I would definitely advise you going to the morememphis.org/contracts website. Also, we also publish our contracts in the city papers, one being the Tri-State Defender and the other one being the La Prensa Latina. Those go out, I believe, every Friday as well. So if you're more of a visual person and you want it in your hand and you want to see what the city's purchasing, it's also there. So let's move ahead. So map to city contracts. So where do you get started if you want to bid with the city? That means that you're certified and that you've registered with purchasing, and that's supplier registration. I believe that purchasing is going to go over that step, but you're registered supplier and you're certified. So what next? You go on the website and you see what the city is buying. That's basically what it is. You go on there, you say, yes, I can provide this service or this good, and you contact purchasing and say, I want to bid on this. And I think all of those things are online now, so you can definitely do everything electronically. So you respond to the solicitation. If your bid is the lowest and best bid, then you win. You win the contract. And then you successfully perform on the contract and get paid. So remember earlier when I talked about audits and we review everything, all the contracts in the city, that's what we do in our office as well. So once you win the contract, you enter into a binding agreement, and we make sure that you're getting paid, and that if it's a prime or a sub or whatever capacity that you're playing in the contract, we make sure that you are performing and you get paid in a timely manner. And then it's important to keep your contact information up to date. That's how we stay in contact with you. That's how we let you know that it's time to renew. Renewal is very important because if you bid on a contract as a certified vendor, you have to maintain that active certification throughout the life of the contract. If you want to make sure that you receive bid solicitations, you must be actively certified. So it's important to keep your contact information up to date. It's important to maintain your certification. We just want to make sure that you all know that we want to do business with you. We are very intentional. Our office was founded and based on intentionality. So we are here for you. We want to provide you services, and we want to make sure that you win a bid. So I'm going to pass it back over to Tabitha. I believe that's who I need to pass it on to. But if you have any questions about anything I said, we'll definitely have a Q&A session, or you can just type it in the chat box and I can make sure that I answer your question.
Okay. Okay, I will take over. I'm certainly not Tabitha, but I'm Stanley, and I'm glad to see you again. We're now, and I want to thank Tabitha and Marcina for that great job. I'm now going to pass it over to the City of Memphis Purchasing Department. We have Ms. Brian Biswall, who is our contract analyst, and she's going to take over and share some slides in her presentation. So please take it away, Brent. I got to get you off. There we go.
Okay, yeah, get me off mute. All right, I'm Bryn Wiswall, and I'm actually the contract administrator for the purchasing or procurement department. Let me get my PowerPoint ready to go here. All right. Let's see. Okay, so now we're going to talk about what you can do, what you need to do in order to contract with the city. So first of all, I want to tell you that our mission in the procurement department is to provide a smooth, come on. All right, guys, hold on. PowerPoint's not moving. There we go. Our mission is to provide a smooth and uninterrupted flow of materials, supplies, and services required to operate the City of Memphis. So that's where you all come in. You can provide those goods and services. We have several types of procurement here at the City of Memphis. We have small purchases, competitive procurement, negotiated contracts, single source contracts, and sole source contracts. And we're going to go into a little more detail about each of those. Our small purchases are those purchases up to $5,000, and those do not have to go out for bid. So this is one of those instances where you want to be in touch with, I guess, Marcina, most likely, who can make introductions to you to various divisions who may need your services, because they won't have to put anything out for bid. They'll simply be able to get with you, call you, ask you for some details on what you can provide for them. So that's up to $5,000. Next, we have competitive procurements, and those are our RFQs, or requests for quotes. And we have 5 types of RFQs, or 5 types of competitive procurements. And these are the ones that you're going to have to bid on. The first type is less than $50,000 and only 1 year. This is going to result in a purchase order. So this is only for 1 year, again, for less than $50,000. Next, we're going to have any that are more than $50,000 or more than 1 year. So it could be a $10,000 a year contract, but if it's for 3 years, it's going to result in a contract rather than a purchase order. And the difference is that it's going to be advertised and it's going to be opened during a bid session. Now, keep in mind that I said open during a bid session. That was pre-COVID. We will talk about how we're doing that these days in a few minutes. Next type is your construction contract. And I know y'all have heard a few things about construction contracts already. They're divided into 2 different tiers: the $5,000 to $10,000 construction projects, and then the over $10,000. The over $10,000 are your big construction projects. It could be $12,000, or it could be the convention center. So we're talking really big major projects that the city is funding right now. So any of those over $10,000 projects or construction projects are going to be, number one, advertised. Number two, you're going to have a Tennessee license. So this is your electrical contractors, plumbing, HVAC, any of those types of careers that require a license. Also, you're going to have to turn in your bid in a construction envelope, and you'll get that when you go to your pre-bid meeting, or you'll get that from the division who is bidding out the construction project. There's also a retainage of 5%. You'll have to provide a bid bond if it's over $100,000. You'll also have to sign a few forms such as Certificate of Drug-Free Workplace and your Certificate of Non-Discrimination. Hopefully, you wanted to not discriminate and have a drug-free workplace anyway. All right, moving along, we also have requests for proposals. We nickname those our RFPs, and this is where it's qualification, experience, or competence that's more important than price. It's when you have more than one solution to a problem. And a good example is, as we know, the Memphis College of Art was closed down in Overton Park. So what's the city going to do with that building? The city owns that building. So the request for proposal will allow various vendors to give different ideas. Some may want to turn it into housing. Some may want to make it a museum. Some may want to tear it down, build something different. So that's where you get no real requirements. It's the city saying, give us your ideas. What can we do? We have this tract of land, or we have this building. We're not sure what to do with it. And then next we have requests for qualifications, and that's when you're looking for expertise in the field. You're looking for unique qualifications. A good example of that we've just put out is IT, our Information Services Group, is looking for vendors to work as contractors for the city. So it's going to be their expertise. If they know their computer stuff, that's what we're looking for. So those are all of our types of competitive procurement. Next is our negotiated. And these are our professional services. When we're looking for architectural services or engineering services, MOUs or grants. And this is also a good example of when you want to speak with OBDC, because they can make an introduction to you to the divisions, so that if you are an MWBE or an SBE that has some of these skills, you want to be introduced to the divisions who can negotiate a contract with you. You won't even have to go through the bid process. We also have single source contracts, and this is when the division will negotiate with a vendor and purchase from that vendor due to the required technology or uniqueness. And a good example of that is when you have some sort of proprietary item. So if software is only provided by the company who builds and makes the software, that would be a single source contract. We also have sole source contracts, and that's when only one supplier meets the requirements. And here we have technical, legal, patents, copyrights, etc. But a good example is that is if we as a city own certain vehicles, but they can only be serviced by the certified company. If we want to keep our warranty valid, then that would be a sole source. We can't just bring our vehicles to any mechanic. It's got to go to a particular one that's been certified by the manufacturer of the vehicle. All right, moving along, how do you submit your competitive bids and or proposals? So your RFQs or your RFPs. RFQs can be submitted electronically, which is definitely our preference. It's easier for the vendor and it's easier for the city as well. But they can also submit hard copy. So if you either have trouble getting into the portal, your internet's out one day, or you're just not an internet person, you're not a computer person, you can bring a hard copy bid to City Hall. Now, it's required for construction contracts. It's also required that you bring a hard copy for an RFP, and also required for requests for qualifications. The requirements for those hard copy bids, here's our list here. And the reason electronic is easier is that once you submit your bid, everything is automatically checked off. It's been delivered to us, it's got your name, It's got the qualification or the RFQ, RFP number, so it's a little bit easier. But if you do choose to submit a hard copy bid, or if you're submitting a bid or proposal to one of those procurement types that does not allow online or electronic submission, what you'll need is, number one, a sealed envelope. We cannot accept a folder that opens. We cannot accept an unsealed envelope. Maybe that you just have to quickly lick it before you turn it in. Also, we need your name on the outside of that envelope. And we need the number that you're bidding on, the RFQ, RFP, or request for qualifications number on the envelope. Otherwise, we won't know when to open it during the bid session. And for everyone's privacy and confidentiality, we don't open that bid until the bid session, as we're reading off the responses to that one particular RFQ, RFP, or qualifications. Now, for construction, it won't be any envelope. It will be a specific envelope that you'll need to obtain from the division. And you'll probably get that at a pre-bid meeting. Most of the construction projects will have pre-bid meetings, not all of them, but you can still get it from the contact name that will be listed in the specifications. Also, you'll want to make sure that your response is turned in by the due date, and that, again, is listed in the RFQ, RFP, or qualifications. And you want to bring it down to City Hall. Now, right now, things are changing as they are for everyone. So we say room 354. You can also bring it in, and you might have a day where they don't let you bring it up here, in which case someone downstairs will have the directions of how you should get that submitted to us. But unfortunately, things are just changing day to day here, as they are pretty much all over the world. So anyway, we will be certain to make sure that there's a way for you to get your bid in. It just may be different on different days. Then our bid sessions. Normally, our bid sessions are at 12 o'clock in the City Council chambers. They are open to the public, but again, not right now. So right now, what we're doing is we record the bid sessions, and then we write down all of the information, which we do pre-COVID anyway, and then that will be posted on the city's website under the RFQ and RFP pages, usually by Thursday or Friday. So you can just check for the listing of how that's happened, what's happened at the bid session towards the end of the week. And if you've not been involved in this, you haven't bid or haven't been to a session in the past, then I would recommend go ahead and go to the site now, and you can look at all the other ones we've been doing, because we do leave the bid session result list on the website for 30 days. So you'll be able to look at what's happened, in the last few weeks. Now, how do we award, or how do the divisions award a contract or a purchase order? Well, first they're going to look to the lowest cost that meets the specifications. So got to meet the specifications. You want to read those very carefully. Next is, if a division wants to award to the best submission, they'll have to submit a memo why one is best and why it's better than, say, the lowest cost. Now, what if you get a tie, which sometimes happens, especially when you're talking about goods that a third party has to obtain from a manufacturer. So let's say all those who decide to bid want to mark up the product 10%. Well, we could very well have a tie. How do we break that tie? Well, first we look to see if any of those who have submitted bids are SPE or MWBE, because they will get preference. If there are none there, then we'd go to the City of Memphis. If you are a City of Memphis business, you'll get preference. If there are no City of Memphis businesses, we'll move on to Shelby County business, and finally a Tennessee business. So we're trying to keep all of our contracting, all of our money as close into the city as we can. Now, our request for proposal, that will be determined by looking at qualification, experience, and competence. And again, that was the example of the College of Art in Overton Park. That's not just going to be about money. You really have to weigh a lot of other factors. Then our request for qualifications, we're going to look to expertise. So when IT wants to hire someone to work on some sort of computer system we have, they're going to look to see who is best qualified, who has the most expertise to do that. Now, there are protest procedures. So if you are not happy with number one, specifications, or number two, the award, you can protest. So the first type of protest is a protest of specifications. And this is going to include the solicitation requirements. So if you see something in the requirements that you don't think should be there, you can protest that 3 business days before the due date. I'll be honest, we don't see a lot of these. I've been with the city for 3 years, and I don't know that I've ever seen a protest of specifications, because usually it's just easier to contact the division or contact the contract analyst and say, hey, this isn't real clear. Can you get some clarification from the division for me? And you can ask questions electronically if you have a question about the solicitation and the specification. So that's really probably easier, and you'll get the result you want more quickly, which is to be able to bid. Now, if you want to protest the award, first of all, you must have bid on the RFQ. So as a City of Memphis citizen, you simply can't go in and start protesting who the city awards contracts to. You have to have been someone who bid on the contract or submitted a bid. Now, what you'll do to protest that award is you'll send a written protest letter to the purchasing agent. That has to be done within 5 calendar days after the intent to award. And the intent to award will come out and be sent to everyone who bid. So that's how you'll know when that intent to award has been issued. Now, you'll want to send that protest letter to, again, 125 North Main Street, room 354, but that could change. But someone in the city, when you arrive here, would be able to tell you what the new procedures are to get things to us right now. And then the purchasing agent is the one who will resolve that protest and make the decision on whether it's valid or not. Now, supplier registration, I know you've already heard a lot about supplier registration, how important it is, and of course that you want to register with the OBDC, but also you need to be a registered vendor with the city in order to actually go in and bid on all of these RFQs, RFPs, and requests for qualifications. Now, Siobhan is going to talk to y'all in a minute. She'll go into a little more depth, but just keep in mind that Siobhan can help you get registered as a supplier, not as a small business or minority business, just as a supplier with the city. Any questions you have about being registered as an SBE or MWBE, again, you go through OBDC. Now, you'll see the opportunities that are out there through the advertisements. Again, Daily News and La Prensa Latina are the papers we're currently advertising in. Also, you can go to the city's website and look under RFPs and RFQs. And then, very important, and I know Siobhan will hit on this as well, is if you want to receive emails when a new solicitation has been created, what you'll want to do is select your category code. So if you do lawn work, you don't necessarily want to know and get emails when the city's looking for an IT professional, and vice versa. So it's very important to keep your category codes current and up to date. And again, Siobhan will talk a little more about that. Here's just a listing of the procurement staff. The way we work is all of our analysts have different divisions that they work with, and they'll work with those divisions from start to finish. So they'll put out the RFQ, and then they'll award it. They may have to collect various documents from vendors, such as insurance, things like that. So this is just a little listing. Feel free to take a screenshot of that if you would like to. But also know that when you look at an RFQ, the contract analyst's information and the contact person will be listed. So you may or may not need this. Would also like to see if you have any questions, but I'd like to go ahead and let Siobhan talk about getting you registered, because that is such a key, important part of this process for you.
Can you go back to that screen?
Which one? Which
The one
screen
that
am I
you
on?
asked us to take a picture of. The one you asked us to take a picture of. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I can go ahead and pull up the page that Siobhan's going to talk to you all about. Okay.
Hello, can everyone hear me? Can you hear me, Brand?
I can hear
Yes.
Siobhan.
Yes.
Just want to make sure, my name is Siobhan Carruthers, and I am the Senior Purchasing Specialist. I deal with the registration for the vendors. And this is just a little checklist of what you do as far as trying to get on board with the City of Memphis by going to our website, www.memphisTN.gov. And once you're there, you go to the business tab, then you check on the supplier registration. And once you're in there, you can attach your W-9 to your registration. We do encourage this. And if not, what I do is once I see a registration without a W-9, I send you an email just requesting a W-9 to be sent to us. I let your vendor registration stay in the portal for at least 48 hours before I reject them. I always try to get the W-9 because we always want our vendors to come in and not having to do any extra work. So you will make sure I let you stay in the vendor registration for at least 48 hours. So once we receive that W-9, we can always approve that registration. And as Brent has said in the beginning, that is very important for you to have your products and codes on your registration. These products and codes trigger your notifications for the bids. Sometimes you have them. Sometimes I can assist you. You can get in touch with me. We can tell by what RFQ or RFP comes out, where we can ask the analyst what that product and code is, and we can always add it to your profile at any time. So no, never think that just because they have a bid out there that you missed it. If we find out what that code is, we can put it into your registration profile, and we can go make sure that it's approved so that you will not miss any more notifications as far as that in the future. So once you're in the queue for the registration, you should see an iSupportal tab say admin, and that's where you would put your products and codes in. If you have any questions about it, you can always call me. I'm working from home right now, so my email address is I'm always available by email if you would like to speak to me. I do return phone calls when I come into the office, or even if you send me an email stating that you need me to call you, I will call you. If you have any questions at the end of this session, feel free to ask us and we can assist you in it. Thank you so much for giving me the time to explain to you about the supplier registration.
Okay, so I want to, if she could see me, I would be giving her a hand clap to both the presenters from the Office of Purchasing, just to tell them thank you for that presentation.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, now we're going to turn it over into the hands of our OBDC Business Services Unit, Mr. Taylor Tagg, Senior Business Services Representative for the Office of Business Diversity and Compliance. So Taylor, if you're there, please take it away.
Well, hey, everybody, just wanted to holler at you just for a second before we get into questions and finishing this up. Again, Mr. Brady alluded to the Entrepreneurs Network Center, and I know all of you know where we are, but again, we wanted to remind you that we're still open from Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5. And we do have a slightly adjusted schedule with the COVID situation. So if you do want to meet with us, we still are available. You can call us at 636-9200 or email us at bdcinfo@memphistn.gov to set up an appointment with us. You can talk to either one of our business navigators or certification analysts to answer your questions about certification. We cover all the different topics that you are focused on your business with planning. It also includes marketing, any funding options that you may be interested in, have a need for, or if you just want to sound an idea off of a soundboarding, we're available for you to help you meet your needs, whatever that you're working on. And if we can't find or we don't have the resource for you, we can find it for you through our variety of other organizations that we partner with. If you haven't checked out any of our OBDC webinar series yet, feel free to do that. We are building our YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube, you'll see us at OBDC Memphis. And if you would subscribe to that channel, you'll get notifications when we have videos or webinars that we are releasing. Just to let you know what we're building on the channel, in the last 3 months, our webinars have covered rebuilding your business, post-COVID-19. We've covered marketing. We've covered networking. We've covered your financial statements and getting your financials in order post-COVID. We've also covered a variety of topics in Spanish for our Latino community as well. We just covered 2 weeks ago a webinar on resilience, which was excellent, and last week on communications. This month, we've got 2 webinars on personal development skills, which is the comeback for post-COVID business. And so we encourage you to join in for those as well. Next month, we'll be covering sales. All these videos and webinars are available on replay on our YouTube channel. So we encourage you to go and check that out and subscribe so you get notified as we release information. And again, understand that we have several other partners with us at the Entrepreneurs Network Center. In addition to the city, the Tennessee Small Business Development Center is available to you as well, the Black Business Association, the Memphis Area Minority Contractors Association, and Operation Hope. So we encourage you to either give us a call or email us and let us know how we can help you going forward in the future. Again, thank you so much, and give it back to you, Mr. Brady.
Director Massey and the rest of the team here at OBDC. I wanted to express her thanks and our thanks to each one of you for joining the OBDC team and the City of Memphis purchasing team here today. The OBDC is in the process of setting dates for more workshops for both those who are certified and those who are in the process of filling out their applications to become certified business owners with the city. Our team will continue to send out electronic invitations for you to sign up on Eventbrite. So we will have semi-annual workshops and quarterly workshops, and we will make sure that we set up a special workshop for those who are in the process of completing their applications, because we want you to know that we are available for you to call in or write in to us so that we can answer any questions that can help you complete your application. So we want to make sure that you know that, and we're going to set a date in a few weeks for those who are in the process of completing their applications. So that's important. So on behalf of Director Massey, we do want to say thank you to everyone for attending today, and we're going to open up for question and answer session. Tabitha, did you have a comment or something you were about to say?
No, sir. You can go ahead.
Okay, so we're going to open up for any questions or comments, and I noticed that we had some that came in the chat box, so I've responded to most of those. I saw one from Keenan. Is there a difference between getting SBE or MBE certifications via your office or going through the state. And we offer our own SBE certifications here with the City of Memphis. We will look at the reciprocal programs and look at the certificates once you submit it to Ms. Keenan Greer, so you can reach out to us. There is another question, and you can jump in.
I want to add something to that really quickly.
Please.
I hate to cut you off,
Yes, sir.
but address Keenan's question. As far as the difference, going to the state or coming to our office or going to any other agency and coming to our office to get certification, basically is if you're on the City of Memphis registry as a certified vendor, whether you got that certification from another agency, Shelby County, MMBC, the state, a national organization, even if you have either of those certifications, if you want to bid on city contracts, you have to bring those certifications to us. We'll review them, recognize them, add you to our registry, and then you can bid on city contracts. But if you have a state of Tennessee MBE and you want to bid on a city contract, if you are not registered with our office, then we do not recognize that certification. So I just want to make sure that's clear. So there's two ways to become certified with our office. Either reciprocal, and you have a certification to another agency and you bring it to us, or you can do our in-house, which is go through the application process. Right now it's online, as Tabitha shared. Either way, it's completely free for us, even though you may have to pay some type of fee or membership with those other agencies. That's not with us, but if you bring it to us, it is free. So just want to make sure that we made that very clear. Also, there's a question, I'm not sure if we addressed it earlier, from Ms. Rebecca Dyer. She says, once certified, is there something that the owners can display in the business to show that the business is certified? And yes, there is. We offer certificates for newly certified vendors, meaning if you did the application process with us, you'll receive a certificate saying that you're certified, and it's good for a year. And if you renew, you'll get a new one, one for each certification. So you can display that. We also send a letter. Unfortunately, we can't let you use the city seal or anything like that, but the certification certificate is definitely all yours. And you're also on the City of Memphis website, which is open to the public. All the information that you send to us, as far as your contact information and who you are, is all made public. Of course, not your taxes or anything like that, but all the information is made public. So if they want to look you up or look up something that you do, it is on the city website at buy901.net. That's BUY901.net. And so looks like we have a couple more questions. Stanley, I don't know if you want to get those.
Okay. Yeah, for Ms. Rebecca Dyer, I think you sent in another message. Can you get another certificate? We have a record of your certificates, and the electronic copy, we will make sure that we'll get you one. As long as you are current, we will send you a copy of your current certification. You can reach out to myself or my teammate Tabitha Veazey, and it's just our names. We'll make sure that we get it to you quickly if that's what you need. So we thank you so much.
Okay. We have another question from Shelley Thomas. Do all RFPs and RFQs for professional services go on the site? I will kick that to purchasing. I'm not sure if 100% of the solicitations go on the site, but I know, like I stated earlier, a good percentage of them, at least 90%. But I know some purchases are what they call negotiated. So meaning that they've reached out to that particular contractor and they've negotiated a contract. So I won't say 100%, but the majority of them do. And they can be found on the website at the areas that we shared earlier. Stanley, looks like there's another question.
Yeah, that question is talking about if your business is in Cordova, are you disqualified for the SBE certification? It depends on where you're paying your taxes. SBE is City of Memphis. That's the residential requirement of the location for the business. If you are in with the City of Memphis, you would be qualified for the SBE certification. If you're outside, you would not be eligible for the SBE certification. And we check with the county records to make sure that everything is makes you qualified. We'll do that research when you fill out your application or once we get the information from you. If you contact me or Tabitha, we're more than happy and more than welcome to take that information, go into the records with the county and give you an answer quickly.
Great.
So I hope that answers that. Paul, how can you connect with the Information Services Department for the city to see if they have a need for unique services? So Marcina, pass it over to you.
Sure. So in the past, we did do what we call introductory meetings with the divisions of the City of Memphis. The city has about 13 divisions, IS and the services being one of them, where we would set up introductory meetings for the vendors on our registry to meet with the decision makers, share what it is that they do, and not necessarily get a contract, but really introduce yourselves as a business. So because of COVID, we haven't really done those in-person meetings like we used to in the past, but we're finding ways to, if we can, do it virtually, but we haven't set up any type of schedule or anything yet. So to answer your question, how do you connect with IS to see if they have any need for unique services? I will say that every division with the City of Memphis under the direction of Mayor Strickland is approachable. Everyone is public, everyone is very aware and supportive of what our office does as far as diverse contracting. So I don't see anyone turning you away saying, I don't want to speak to you. I would definitely reach out to IS directly and say, hey, I'm a certified vendor with the City of Memphis. I do this, this, and that. Is there a way that we can meet briefly, virtually, of course, and I can share with you what it is that I do and what I can do for you? That's basically how it goes. I would definitely encourage you to reach out to IS directly. Their contact information is on the city website, memphistn.gov, and search information services or whatever division that you would like and make that connection. Like I said, I don't see them telling you no. I do see them saying maybe, let me look at my schedule, look at my calendar, but I would definitely, make sure that they know who you are and that, you want to do business. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing against that. So definitely reach out to them directly. We encourage that. Looks like there's another question here.
I want to bring Tabitha into this. Michael King. Tabitha is also one of our certification specialists and analysts, along with myself, but I'll bring Tabitha in to answer your question.
Yes, so Michael King, to certify your WBE certification, to register your WBE certification with the City of Memphis, when you log onto the website, memphis.mwsbe.com, you will choose option 1 to create an account. As a reciprocal, you will upload your certificates from Shelby County, and we will receive that new certification. It'll be a reciprocal certification, but it will still be a new application. So just make sure that you upload your WBE certification from Shelby County so we can recognize that certification. And if you have any issues while you're accessing the online application, please feel free to contact myself or Mr. Stanley Brady. We can assist you.
Can't hear you, Stanley.
Okay, I was saying that Tabitha is welcome to take on the next one from Vincent, if you like, the small minority business owner.
So his question, I am a small minority owned small minority business owned, and I am SBE certified, should I register to be a MWBE? So the City of Memphis, we offer 3 different certifications. The MBE is specifically for minority-owned businesses, female or male, and the SBE is for small businesses located, principal office located in the City of Memphis, which is gender neutral. The WBE is specifically for Caucasian female owners. So you will only qualify for the sort of certification that you actually qualify for. You have MWBE on there. The MWBE, the MBE and the WBE, they're both under the same program, which is the EBO program. So both of those certifications actually they're underneath the same EBO program.
And Tabitha, I just want to add to that as well, for Michael King, as far as should you register as an MWBE, there's definitely a preference. You as an MWBE if you want to, but just keep in mind what I shared earlier, that SBE projects are designated SBE. They are race and gender neutral, as Tabitha mentioned, but they have, those are usually geared towards smaller projects, even though there's no limit as far as the value of the contract, but it's usually goods and services. So we will not mark a construction project SBE for a small business if it's like a multi-million-dollar project. If you're in construction and you want to be included on that construction project, it is best to register as an MWBE because we will set a percentage goal on that project for MWBE participation. But if you're an SBE and you do not have the MWBE, you will not be counted towards that percentage. If you're not counted towards that percentage, there's no incentive for the prime to subcontract with you on that project. So it depends on your preference. It depends on the area of business that you're in. Again, if you're into goods and services, SBE is for you. If you're into performing on a construction project, architecture, professional services, those types of projects, MWBE would be the best way to go.
Okay, I would like to respond to a couple of messages that I received, and that was for those who are in the process of completing the application. We invited both categories here today, but I wanted to make sure, because some just received their business license a month ago or 2 months ago. The requirements set up by the City of Memphis and the City Council, the requirement is that you demonstrate that your business has operated for at least 6 months within the City of Memphis prior to certification with a Shelby County business license. That is a requirement, and sometimes that can delay your application. And we try to let you know that although you apply for certification, that is still a requirement that you have to demonstrate that you've been in business with a business license with Shelby County for those 6 months. And then we also have to share with you that you must satisfactorily demonstrate the business or personal residency requirements. And we make sure that myself, Tabitha, or Marcina, we make it a point to have these personal discussions with you concerning the residency requirements and the requested documents. When you do the new online application, it asks you for information so that we can update in our system any new amendments or changes to your company. And for those who are pre-certified or filling out, your company must show a commercial useful function within the business. And then you must show that you independently run the company and that you have more than 51% control of your company. These are just some of the requirements that can hold up an application, or we have to contact you back and just share with you because you're in the process of completing it. We have to make sure that you meet the requirements that are asked by the city. So those are the questions that were put out to us in the chat box. Now, I will say that we will allow an opportunity if it's someone that just wants to ask a virtual question. You're welcome to do so at this time, but again, I want to reiterate how grateful we are to you all for taking the time out to be here. And thank you, in behalf of our office and Director Massey. It is her intent and the mayor's intent that we do all that we can to share this information with you. Do we have anyone that's with us now that want to come off mute and ask a question before we leave? This is your time. Okay, as we say in church, being that no one has come. We want to thank everybody for this. We're getting a lot of thank yous, and you're welcome to let us know how you feel. If there's any questions or something that went unanswered, feel free to contact the certification unit, Tabitha, VZ.
Mr. Brady,
yes,
there was a question in the chat box that just came up from Keenan Greer. He asked, while working on certification, is there a contact person for questions regarding required documentation? Keenan, you can contact myself or Stanley Brady, and we can assist you with that.
Yeah, and we are here to answer all types of questions, and we try to give you the requirements by the city and the city council and our office. So it is our pleasure, it's our job to serve you. And so feel free to reach out to us. All services rendered by the City of Memphis, it is free. Our building is open for you to come in to use our computers and all services that are here. And let me remind everyone that's going through certification, it is free. You don't have to go through any third party. If there's an in-house opportunity for you to come and you're in the City of Memphis, that certification is free. Shelby County is free. There's no need to go outside to pay a cost for that. The mayor, along with the director and the city council, has removed that as a barrier or a cost expense for those who are there in that position. If we don't have any more questions, I want to express my thanks to you as one of your hosts, and I'm sure Marcina, Tabitha, our business services department, Bryn and Siobhan, along with our director. We just want to say thank you for taking the time out, and we appreciate everybody. Feel free to contact our office at any time. We're here to serve you. Without any further ado, enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe, and continue to have a great week. Thank you so much.